Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MTGO Traders. My name is Taryn, and this is the Mono White Angels deck for Core Set 2019 Standard. So yesterday we did the Mono Black Demons deck, and today we're going to do the Angels. It's always darkest before the dawn, and the dawn is here. So let's jump right into the deck tech and see what we're working with. Starting with our creature curve, of course, we've got Aether Geode Miner, Ajani's Pridemate, Aviary Mechanic, and Resplendent Angel. So since they're not a lot of like low curve angels actually in standard right now, that's perfectly fine. We still have a lot of great cards in general for some life gain and stuff like that. So Aether Geode Mino is a great card for us, especially with Oketcher's Monument being in this deck list, to be able to blink in and out, triggering Ajani's Welcome, which is another card we have in the deck list, triggering Ajani's Pridemate, putting +1/+1 counters on it, making it more powerful. And same thing with Aviary Mechanic, using the kind of back and forth of two Aviary Mechanics to make a lot of tokens, as well as create a lot of enter the battlefield triggers for Ajani's Pridemate to become huge. Now all this kind of culminates towards Resplendent Angel, which means if we gain 5 or more life in a turn, we actually get a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. So a lot of these little interactions here are going towards making sure we get that Resplendent Angel trigger, as well as having a lot of life against our opponent. But if we can't do that, Resplendent Angel is a card that can pump itself for 6 mana. Unto end of turn, it gets +2/+2 and gains lifelink as well, making it a 5/5 flyer with lifelink, which is super good, again, making sure that we actually get that 4/4 Angel as well. But that's not all the cards as far as creatures go. We have 22 in total as we go to our upper end, and all of these are Angels. We've got Angel of Invention and Lyra Dawnbringer, or Lyra Dawnbringer, however you want to pronounce it. I'm going to pronounce it Lyra. I like Angel Invention here because it can pump our board state immensely. Because of the kind of Oketcher's Monument kind of situation we have going on, we're creating a lot of 1/1s with Vigilance, and Angel Invention is a great way to kind of benefit from that giant board state to be able to swing in for a win. Now, Dawnbringer is here for us to get some lifelink, as well as First Strike and Flying, and just being able to pump other Angels like the Angel Invention or Resplendent Angel, turning the Resplendent Angel into a 4/4 flyer for 3, and if we have the Monument on the battlefield, a 4/4 flyer for 2, which is ridiculous. But that is all the creatures. Let's move on to our spells here. We've got Renewed Faith, Oketcher's Monument, Ajani's Welcome, and Cast Out. Renewed Faith is here for if we need immediate life gain for gaining 6 life to get a Resplendent Angel trigger kind of going off, or just some cycling to get some more life gain as well as cycling for a new card. Oketcher's Monument is here to make everything a little bit cheaper for us for our creature curve, as well as going super wide with tokens. Ajani's Welcome is a great turn 1 play to follow up with an Ajani's Pridemate, triggering off of itself, making sure it's a 3/3 upon entry, which is really, really good. And Cast Out is here for some like pesky control against our opponent, some non-land permanent removal, and cycling as well if we need that. But that is all the cards in here besides lands, so let's go over lands really quickly. We've got Plains, Scavenger Grounds, and Shefet Dunes. Shefet Dunes being one of the marquee cards in lands here, being able to pump our entire board state for a good wide swing. Preferably closing out the match with a Shefet Dunes sack. And Scavenging Grounds is here for a Scrap Heap Scrounger, a Scarab God, anything like that where they have lots of graveyard recursion. We have no graveyard recursion in our deck, and Scavenger Grounds is not going to hurt us out at all. Hurt us at all. Ugh, words. What are they today? But that is the full Game 1 game plan, the full 60 on that. What can we do in the sideboard? Let's go to the sideboard here. We've got Authority of the Consoles, Invoke the Divine, Skywhaler's Shot, Thopter Arrest, and Shalai Voice of Plenty. So a lot of people may want to put Seal away where Skywhaler's Shot is. For me right now, I feel like there's enough Vigilance stuff with the Black-White Knights deck kind of floating around and other kind of Vigilance decks floating around that I feel like Skywhaler's Shot is something that's a little bit more sought after until rotation at least. But I like this card as well. It's a 3-mana instant. Destroy target creature with power 3 or greater than Scry 1. So Scry 1 giving us the ability to kind of line up our next draw. Authority of the Consoles is here for the mono-red aggro decks, the more aggressive decks like red-green monsters, stuff like that. Invoke the Divine is here for the artifact decks as well as the enchantment-based decks. There's a blue-red Aura's deck and a green-white Aura's deck kind of floating around right now. Invoke the Divine deals with that. And Thopter Arrest for some more artifact cards like Heart of Kieran to lock down, or some big creatures like a Glorybringer or Rekindling Phoenix, things like that. And Shalai Voice of Plenty is great tech against a white deck that has Settle the Wreckage and just a lot of like spot removal maybe against our board state. We want to bring in Shalai Voice of Plenty for that list. Even though it could be a main boardable angel for us, it's kind of just good enough in the sideboard for us right now. But that's full 75. Let's go to the full layout here. On MTGO Traders, if you want to build this, it's coming to about 34 tickets, which is not bad at all. And if you want to build this in paper, it's coming to about $140. So not technically like budget for Paper, but in MTGO, it's definitely cheaper than Paper right now. And definitely go for it if you want to have some fun with some mono white Angel Flyers. But that's it for the deck tech, guys. Let's get into some matches and see how this deck does. All right, guys, let's get into our first match with mono white Angels. Of course, at 2019 standard. Starting off with a pretty decent hand. 3 lands, always going to be a good keep for us. 2 Renewed Faith in the opening hand isn't great, but it's still better than normal because, again, we have lots of things that when we gain life, things happen. Wily Goblin for opponent. We go the Renewed Faith cycle immediately since we don't need 2 of them in our opening hand. And we get into another Lyra Dawnbringer, which is not great, but not terrible. In the mid to late game, once that comes out, it'll be a huge bomb for us, especially because we have Oketra's Monument on turn 3. We could actually go into a turn 4 Dawnbringer, which isn't bad. Opponent playing a weird, like, Sarkhan's Unsealing deck. We go Oketra's Monument on turn 3, pass. Waiting on opponent here. We look for a Dismissive Pyromancer there, kind of seeing what it does. Skirk Prospector being thrown into the graveyard there, then getting in for 1 point of damage. And then casting another Prospector. We go for a land here, kind of looking at that, saying, okay, well, we're going to go for Dawnbringer because the Prospector can't necessarily kill the Dawnbringer unless they have extra damage on top of that. Opponent's not hitting their land drops, so we're actually kind of super ahead in this match so far. Not bad either way, but really looking to get into probably the Resplendent Angel so that our lifelink can actually go to good use. They go for Sarkhan's Unsealing here, which is kind of a sign that we need to try and get our game plan going as soon as possible. But again, Lyra Dawnbringer is 5 toughness. The 4 toughness, or 4 points of damage that Unsealing does, is not really going to hurt Dawnbringer at all. Which is great. Almost recast Dawnbringer there, but quickly remembered that Dawnbringer is a legendary creature. So, cycled into a Resplendent Angel, and because of the monument being on the battlefield, we can cast it for just 2 mana and get a 4/4 flying Vigilance creature on our instep there. So, we have a huge board state now, and that's probably going to end up on the match if they don't, unless they don't have anything like Hour Devastation, something like that. They lay their third land there with Field of Ruin, looking at the board state, and again, it's a 4/4 lifelinker thanks to Lyra Dawnbringer. Just a great card. Playing Heartpiercer here. The 4 points of damage going to Lyra Dawnbringer, and the Heartpiercer damage can also go to Lyra Dawnbringer if they sack a creature. So they're getting rid of that, which does turn off lifelink on the Angel. But thanks to us, we have a second Dawnbringer in hand, getting that out. And I believe the opponent even comments on that. There it is. Yep, I knew you were going to play another one. And that's exactly what we're going to do. And then we just swing in for game, and that closes out our game 1 game plan. So very, very nice. Let's get into our sideboard here and see what we can do. Invoke the Divine could be great for the Unsealing, as well as Skywhaler's Shot since they have larger creatures. So we bring those out. I bring Ajani's Welcome out, take Authority of the Console, kind of thinking about those cards, taking out all of the welcomes, bringing in the Skywhaler's Shot, bringing in Shalai, maybe taking out some Angel of Invention, and just submitting here. Bringing in Shalai because of the targeted removal thanks to Sarkhan's Unsealing, that kind of stuff. 2 lands for opening hand. Renewed Faith in there for some cycling. We hit a land, so we're actually pretty good now. And we have 3 options here on turn 3. We can do Oketra's Monument, Resplendent Angel. We'll hold up for a Skywhaler Shot. We're going to go with a Renewed Faith cycle since we got into that. And gain some life, get another land. Could have held on to that for the Resplendent Angel getting a 4/4, but wanted to prioritize getting land drops as well as creatures in our hand. So going for a land here, and then can go for the Oketra's Monument or Skywhaler Shot. We decided to go for Skywhaler Shot, passing turn, and kind of ended up taking a ton of damage because of this. They have Combat Celebrant on the battlefield, then they play the Hellion here, which means they do 12 points of damage in a single turn. Really hurt us, dropping us down to 10 here. Not a fan of that at all. So we have to really bounce back from this. We go for the Pridemate first. We're not getting any life from it, but that's all right. We're going to go with the Shalai here instead of the Resplendent Angel. Going a little bit wider, making sure that since they do have enough mana here for the Unsealing, we get out Shalai to protect all of our creatures, making Shalai the first target of any kind of removal. One of the bad things in the deck with this Unsealing card is the Shalai is actually kind of a huge target. A Skywhaler Shot against the Captivating Crew here. We definitely want to do that. And Renewed Faith on top, we're going to keep that on top. And then getting out Resplendent Angel right after that. Combat Celebrant, again, a very good card if they have lots of creatures on their side of the field. If they don't, it's kind of just a do-nothing card, unless they have lots of hasty creatures. So the Hellion is a hasty creature, so we might see it again, but we want to be careful. We are much more careful now thanks to our warriors being on the battlefield, gumming up the board state. Skirk Prospector coming in. They go with a pass here. We could go for Angel of Invention or Renewed Faith. Either way, we're going to be able to get probably a 4/4 Flyer Vigilance creature this turn and the following turn. We go Angel of Invention here. And we go Fabricate, and we put the counters on top of the Angel, and then just attack in with everybody, with the exception of the Pridemate there. Wait, nope, we go with Pridemate. Yeah, we just swing out for everybody, going Alpha Strike. They block the Pridemate here, and they block a Warrior, and they take lots of damage in the air, going down to 2, and then we pass turn. And that should be game again for our opponent here. GG. Very nice. Inferno Hellion is another card that very good, but thankfully we've done enough damage here that that's going to end up on the game. Let's get into match 2 here and see what we can do with the Mono White Angels deck. Loving this deck so far, especially the interaction with the Catcher's Monument and Ajani's Welcome, especially with Aether Geode Miner. I think this is the match here where we come into where we see Aether Geode Miner and Ajani's Primate kind of go ham on them. Silver Scare Adept, we're either dealing with a Wizard deck or a Merfolk deck here. I think it's a Wizard deck at the end of the day. Going with a Pridemate. They go with another Adept here, drawing some more cards, showing another Adept in their hand. So, not bad. Gonna go with a land here and then go Resplendent Angel, getting life, making sure the Pridemate goes up to being a 4/4. And then we just swing out for points here. Getting some points on the board. They could go with a double block here, but they would lose board state substantially. So, they go with another land here. 5 cards in hand for them. 4 land on the battlefield. We want to get out the Miner or use Renewed Faith next turn. Either option would be good for us. They're tapping down our Weaver here. So we are going to lay a land and then go for the Renewed Faith, giving the Pridemate another counter, making it a 5/5, and making sure we do get a 4/4 Flying Vigilance Angel. And also getting another life thanks to Ajani's Welcome. So the Pridemate really does stack up really quickly and becomes a huge threat. And if they don't have anything to deal with it, it just runs you over. So that's it for the first game there. Let's get into the sideboard game plan here. Taking out Ajani's Welcome, bringing in probably Authority of the Consoles. They seem to be more of a tempo-based strategy, and we're also bringing in Thopter Arrest since they do have a more creature-based strategy as well. So trying to prioritize those kind of game plans. Taking out Renewed Faith, putting in Shalai as well as a last-minute replacement. Renewed Faith is very good if we're up against a slower strategy, but kind of bad if we're up against a more aggressive-based strategy. Go for a land drop, pass turn. They have a Naban here. We're going to go with a Pridemate. We get that out, and after this is kind of a chain reaction of just counterspells over counterspells. Going to go with an Aether Geode Miner here, trying to hold on to that Catcher's Monument. They go Syncopate, exiling it. Not great for us. We still get in for 2 points here. Oh, that was my phone. And then, yep, going for another land here. Again, trying to just kind of tease out any kind of like removal spells. Wizard's Retort in their hand, and then we go for Ajani's Pridemate, and they have yet again a Wizard's Retort, so just removal forever. So it probably would have been better there to play the Catcher's Monument, but getting up 2 counterspells from their hand is not bad either. Going for a land here, Catcher's Monument, and then just playing out the Avery mechanic to get a 1/1 to block, say yes, bounce the Pridemate, and get that back out with another 1/1 Vigilance creature. We don't want to attack in right now, thanks to the 2/1s on their side of the field. We are going to attack out here, though. An opponent plays out a Merfolk Trickster. A good card here. Before that actually hits the battlefield, though, we're going to go cast out and choose Naban and just grab that so the ability doesn't trigger twice. So very good for us there. Tapping down a Vigilance creature. And they decide to go with a block on a Vigilance creature and block on the Pridemate, and they take 3. 3 cards in opening hand. They lay another land here, going to 7 Island. And they get in for 2 here. So we're going to play Shepherd Dunes and get out an Angel of Invention. But they have an Essence Scatter. Opponent has control forever. We still get a 1/1 Vigilance creature off that, so not bad. We get in for 3 there, drop them down to 10. They play out a clone, basically, in Merfolk Trickster, one of the Vigilance soldiers here. We have Authority of the Consoles at the top, and then we just go for Shepherd Dunes here to sacrifice to get some more damage in. So we can trade with the Merfolk Trickster if they decide to. Getting in for 6 points, 7 points of damage. They actually do decide to trade. Down to 5 for opponent. Tapping that, they're getting rid of our token here. And then what should we top deck but an Angel of Invention? And that's probably going to close out the match here. And to force a GG. Nice. Let's get into match 3 here and see what we can do. Again, the Mono White Angels deck is really good being able to bounce back from bad board states. Actually had a mulligan there. Ajani's Private off the top, so we're going to keep that. Having 2 Angel of Invention in our opening hand here isn't good at all, but we do have an Aether Geode Miner with 3 lands, so I thought that was good enough to keep. Getting into it, Catcher's Monument as well makes Angel of Invention much better. We'll take Brawler from opponent here. We're splitting an Angel off the top as well. We just get in for 2 here, seeing if they want to trade. An opponent does want to trade, so we get the trade going. Not bad. Land for opponent and pass. We're going to go for, I believe, just an attack first, and then Aether Geode Miner right after that. Actually, Avery Mechanic, because we didn't lay a land. Now, one of the best things about Avery Mechanic is we can bounce lands as well, making it so we can play another card. Going for another land for opponent. This is a Steel Leaf Champion deck, so this might be a green-red Monsters or green-red Sarkhan Unsealing deck. Getting in for 3 in the air. I'm sure to see Galta in this matchup. Not a fan of Galta, but it's a huge threat to our board state. Regisaur Alpha is a card that's coming in here. They get in for 8 points of damage there. We go with Renewed Faith cast here, getting 6 life, and getting in for 3 in the air, making another 4/4 Flying Vigilance creature. They're at 11, so we kind of have the advantage here a little bit, but it's going to be really difficult unless we don't top deck into a land here. They play Galta, and they get in because it has haste thanks to Regisaur Alpha, and that's kind of going to be game for us. So we need to go with a block here on the Alpha and the token there, going down to 1, seeing if we can top deck something like a land. And if we top deck a land, we might have enough to kind of bounce back a little bit, but really we're kind of at the end of the match here. So going to force a concede from us, thanks to Galta just being a huge threat to our board state. Getting into our sideboard game plan, we definitely need to get Skywiller's Shot in, taking out Renewed Faith, bringing in Shalai for that Sarkhan Unsealing kind of abilities, taking out Angel of Invention, and making sure we draw into Shalai, cast out Skywiller's Shot, that kind of stuff, to make sure that Galta isn't that big of a threat to our board state. 4 lands in our opening hand with Ajani's Welcome and the Miners. So not bad hand for us. Want to go with that hand and keep it. Opponent playing a Forest and passing. I was kind of expecting a Landward Elf there, but we're going to go for a Miner and gain a life here. The Welcome early game here is really good for us, especially because of so much damage they'll be able to do in the mid to late game. We go with a Resplendent Angel here, getting out our attacker as soon as possible, and getting 2 energy from the Aether Geode Miner. Cycling a Sheltered Thicket from opponent, going for the 3rd land drop, and getting out a Steel Leaf Champion. Now we have some options here. We can go for the Mechanic and the Miner. We go for the Miner first, and then go for the Mechanic. Decide not to bounce anything here, and then just attack in for 3 in the air. Now, we would be bouncing or blinking the Aether Geode Miner here if we hadn't a Ajani's Pridemate, but we don't just yet. We definitely will be getting into that soon this match, I believe. Tapping once again on their side of the field for a Servant of the Conduit, getting 2 energy from that, and holding up blocks. Ajani's Pridemate off the top here, which is fantastic for us, meaning that we get this in, we gain a life immediately, going to make it a 3/3, and then we attack in with our Miners and the Resplendent Angel. Now, the thing here is we can choose to trade with the Miners if we want to with the Servant, but we decide to blink here, making sure that the Pridemate becomes a huge threat. Turning it into a 5/5 after the turn is played is just ridiculous. I love Ajani's Pridemate in this Angels deck here. They lay a 5th land here from an opponent. 5 cards in hand. They have Voltaic Brawler. Again, they're kind of in Galta range once again. We need to get... There it is! There's Galta. Primal Hunger. We go with the Aether Geode Miner kind of blink there to make sure that we can block the Steel Leaf Champion. We top deck a land. We're going to go with a plus here on Resplendent Angel. We're at 28 life so far, so taking a hit from Galta isn't terrible. They decide to go for blocks again, and we decide to go for blinks again. Again, making Ajani's Pridemate just a huge creature for us so that it does not die to a Unsealing or anything like that. They're also down to 6 because of the Resplendent Angel here. Sheltered Thicket cycle, make a 4/4. Again, Pridemate is a 10/10, almost dealing with Galta here, so just a huge bonus for us. Thrashing Brontodon off the top there, but they see that we have flying in the air, and that is going to do it for game 2. Let's get into game 3 here, and probably no changes for us here, so we're just going to hit submit and go into game 3. Again, Galta is a huge issue for us, but if we're getting that much life and we have that much in the air power, it's really not going to damage us that much. Ajani's Welcome is really helping us there, especially with the Aether Geode Miners bouncing in and out. So 2 lands here with the Ajani's Primate and Avery Mechanic. We have cast out an opening hand, so I'm kind of keeping this as a defensive hand because of the Galta in their deck list, since they got it out both games here. Llanowar Elves for them, as well as an Aether Hub. They could go for a Steel Leaf Champion here, but they go for a Voltaic Brawler instead, and then another Llanowar Elves. We're going to go for a Primate here, so we're a little behind on the 8-ball, thanks to their game board state. 3rd land drop from opponent. Again, lots of mana, lots of power on the battlefield. We're just hoping they don't hit into a Galta. We think about blocking, but we decide not to. Another Voltaic Brawler coming into the battlefield. And then a Deathgorge Scavenger. Opponent is just ramping it up here. We go with the Aether Geode Miner and just pass the turn. A little slow as far as how we're playing this particular match. I'm not looking too good for us, but this deck, again, can bounce back thanks to all the life gain in the deck. We're getting in again for lots of damage. 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. We go with the Aether Geode Miner block on the Brawler as well as the Deathgorge Scavenger. They lay a land and they pass turn 1 card in hand, so they've blown their entire hand. We're going to go Shalai, make a great blocker in pass turn here. They only have 1 energy as well, so they can attack him with a Brawler if they want to, dropping us down to 5. And they also have Servant here to give them more energy if they want to be aggressive. But they decided with a pass there. We're going to go land here and play Angel of Invention, widening our board state and making the Shalai a great block, just a straight up block against Voltaic Brawler. Again, all we're kind of hoping for is that they don't hit a Galta because of the board state right now. And that's exactly what they hit. Luckily for us, we have Cast Out in our hand and can deal with the Primal Hunger. And so that's exactly what we do here. And thanks to Angel of Invention being a Vigilance creature as well, we get in for 2 in the air. Thought about attacking Shalai, but decided against it. 1 card in opponent's hand, and this is where we kind of slowly turn the tide in this battle. 4 mana for a Ripjaw Raptor. Catcher's Monument here for us. Avery Mechanic. And then Bouncing Shalai here, since we're only using it as a defensive card to make our board state a little bit wider. And getting it in the air for 2 once again, dropping them down to 16, putting us back up to 13. So, and that's going to do it for the opponent. Nice. I like it whenever a match like that kind of turns around for us. Let's get into match 4 here, and this is actually a Salt Scoop. Opponent does win the first game here, but we win the second game, and the opponent just does not have it. Johnny's Primate for us, going up against Blue-White. I believe this is a Esper Control or Blue-White Control. Search for Azcanta. Going to go for just a simple attack here. And Aether Geode Miner here. Search for Azcanta being one of the best cards for control right now. Getting rid of a sensor there. Just get in for 5 here, not bad. Since they don't have 4 mana, the Settle the Wreckage play is out of bounds for them. So we go for Najani's Primate, thinking we can get that down. A Disallow happens, then we go for a Miner, and that hits the battlefield, which is a point more damage. Not too bad. Have a land here. Can go with a Cast Out on Search for Azcanta just to see if we can get a Settle the Wreckage not cast this turn. We grab the Search for Azcanta and get in for 6 points of damage. And before we get the energy here, they go Settle the Wreckage. We could have blinked a Aether Geode Miner there, but kind of opted for land instead. We definitely go for a Baffling End on the Primate here. We have Scavenger Grounds, and we decide to go Avery Mechanic, bouncing the Cast Out to recast Cast Out to grab Baffling End, which does give us a 3/3 at the end of the day. So giving us a little bit more board presence in this fight here. While Search for Azcanta is very good at being able to give them card advantage, Cast Out with Baffling in there is good at being able to give us kind of an advantage in dealing power. So we're still at a 3-turn clock for the opponent. They lay land 3 cards in hand. Pass. Resplendent Angel off the top for us. We're going to go for an attack here. Drop them down to 8 and try and cast Resplendent Angel. But they have Disallow, so that doesn't work out for us. But next turn, we will be able to win with a Sheffet Dunes. Actually, we won't be able to. That's only 7 there. They'll be down to 1. But then they go with Approach there. We have Angel of Invention off the top. Going to go Servos to widen our board state and get in for 6 here. Drop them down to 8. Now we really just need to hope that they don't have a Settle the Wreckage. But of course, being a blue-white deck with Approach in it, you know they have Settle the Wreckage opening in their hand. Opt off the top there. We could have just attacked in for 8 there, but we decided to go with all-out attack. Not a good decision. Settle the Wreckage is in their hand, out of the 2 cards in their hand. We grab a Resplendent Angel off the top and lay that down. Search for Azcanta, throwing things out of the way if they need to. But just gets out a Fumigate as well, and that's a concede for me. Just didn't want to deal with that matchup after that long of a game. After they cast the first Approach, it's normally a small window before the game is over. Decide to bring in Evoke the Divine, Shalai, that kind of stuff to get around the Settle the Wreckage. And just hit Submit. Let's go into Game 2 here. Opening hand is 3 lands, Oketcher's Monument, Thopter Arrest, Pridemate, and Aviary Mechanic. So not a bad opening hand for us. Really wish we had a Shani's Welcome for this opening hand, but do not. Authority of the Councils from the opponent. We're going to go with the Pridemate here. Councils really does slow us down a little bit, but not enough to hurt us in the early game, thanks to cards like Oketcher's Monument being able to make our turns a little bit sooner. Cast out Cycle from opponent. Getting a land there. They did not hit their land drop, so they needed to cycle for that. We're going to go Angel and Invention. Now, all of these do come in tapped, so they do gain quite a bit of life here. And then we get in for 3 points of damage, dropping them back down to 20. Search for Azcanta once again. They're going to pitch a Regal Caracol off the top, trying to look for lands. Did not find a land this turn, but they did find a Baffling End for that Pridemate. Now we have Aviary Mechanic and Thopter Arrest in our opening hand, so not really afraid of a Settle the Wreckage or Seal Away that turn. Getting in an Aviary Mechanic here because we can recast the Angel Invention for this turn. And either make her board state wider or make her larger. We decide to go wider here, since opponent is still having issues with finding that land. They threw an Irrigated Farmland to the graveyard. Not sure why they did that. I feel like they should have gone with a, a regular land. And those are the matches, guys. Hope you did like them. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure to enable notifications to let you know when we upload a new video on the channel. We normally upload a video every single weekday throughout the week. 2 deck techs normally, a draft, MTGO finance, and then kind of a random video, maybe some Jolt Commander videos or Modern videos, whatever we want on the channel as well. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this, and make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.